Now, in the previous two movies, I took you through the analysis of two professional texts, the healthcare innovation bubble and the patient portals and health apps bubble, text, sorry, not bubble, text. Um, so I'm hoping that by now you have a clear view of what an orientation is. An orientation is anything that says something about time or place, like yesterday, tomorrow in France, in American healthcare, whatever. Um, Also, anything that says something about the source of the following statement, according to him, based on that research, anything that says anything about the degree of truthfulness, possible, probably, if this is all true, then, stuff like that. Or anything that says anything about the tone of voice, frankly speaking, or pardon my French, or according to him, or examples like that. And finally, anything that says something about the relationship to the earlier text. However, furthermore, aside from that, etc., etc. Most importantly, though, the orientation is at the actual beginning of the sentence before the subject. Anything that is not the subject but that is before the subject, that is called the orientation. In texts, these two will be most common. I mean, they are used the most. And in academic text, you also have this one, and to a certain extent, that one. I mean, in an academic text, you will often have to quote other people, right? So, according to this research, based on the investigation, stuff like that. And you will also have some hypothetical remarks like that would mean, or probably, or one might infer, or stuff like that. So, those are orientations. Then you have the topic, and the topic is basically defined as the thing that you are talking about. Now, the rule that I've been talking about in the little movies already, the rule is your topic needs to come from somewhere. A reader needs to understand why that is suddenly what he's talking about. If he arrives at a topic that he cannot place, he cannot somehow connect the concept to his earlier web of concept that he was weaving while reading your text, or she, then he will just stop reading. If you don't get the topic, you won't continue reading. So the first topics in the text are generally generic, like we, as in we, the author, so we, people in general, or people, or it, or there, or healthcare, or even American healthcare. I mean, that all still works. Later topics are more specific. Patients who feel that way, this, health apps of that kind. You cannot start a text with the sentence, with the topic, health IT apps of that kind. Which kind? I mean, people will go like, huh? Why are we suddenly talking about this? A topic needs to come from somewhere. In the beginning, it comes from generic sources. Later, it comes from, well, for instance, the focus. I will explain that in a minute when I start talking about patterns. Then you have the focus, and all I want to say about that is, it is the thing you really want to say, the thing that will drive your text forward. This always needs to contain new information. If it doesn't contain new information, it is not driving your text forward. In general, you can say a topic is a little bit shorter than your focus. Generally speaking, your focus contains more words. Unless the words that are in there are really, really powerful, then it can be a short focus. I mean, it's not carved in stone that a focus should be long. It is carved in stone that a focus should contain meaningful new information. So, this and this and this about health, blah, 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 has been discussed is a crappy focus. Has been discussed, if those are your only lines after your topic, then you need to rewrite your sentence and move stuff from your topic to your focus. I will give you some explanations later. So that's the summary of what orientation, topic, and focus are. Now, bear with me because we need to count a bit. We need to actually see where foci and topics are coming from. So I am going to bring you back to the texts, and then after I've discussed the texts a little bit more, I will take you back to this particular page and discuss some acceptable patterns with you. So let me get to one of the texts that we have analyzed in the previous movies. And let me go to Patients Portal marked, because I've marked the entire thing here. Okay, here we have topic number. Let me see if I can introduce, wait. Yes, I can insert a text box thingy there. Oh, no, that's not what I want, I'm sorry. This is what I want. I have a text box thingy, and this is topic number 1, there. And as we are used to by now, topic number 1 is very generic. It doesn't mean a lot yet, so nobody can go, what are we talking about? What is there? Everybody will accept there as a first topic. Now, then focus is growing interest in electronic access to health information. So that's focus, and I call it 2 because it's something else than what was called here, there. Then, so is growing interest in electronic access to health information and the use of digital data for both disease and health-related tracking. Widespread use of information technology. Okay, now here we have a more specific topic already. It's far more specific than the generic there. So we have a topic here, and since it's more specific, we need to think about where it comes from. I mean, let me organize this a little bit there. So widespread use of health information technology, the source of that is basically the focus that we had here. So we call this topic 2 to make clear this topic has been derived from, has been introduced by, the way has been paved for it by the focus in the previous sentence. So growing interest in electronic access to health information and the use of digital data for both disease and health-related tracking. So that sort of implies health information technology, and therefore that's part of this topic. You could also say, no, this is still a little bit different, but it is kind of related so people can follow it. Let's call it topic number 3. I don't much care at this point. That would be splitting hairs for now. Just as long as you understand, you cannot suddenly start talking about health information technology if you don't know where it comes from. Okay, so widespread use of health information technology could potentially increase patients' access to their health information and facilitate future goals of advancing patient-centered care. Now, here we suddenly have a new focus, because now we're zooming in. We're not just talking about health IT in general, we're talking about we're talking about access to their health information and facilitate future goals of advancing patient-centered care. This is a little bit complicated because are we talking about patients' access to health information, or are we talking about facilitating future goals of advancing patient-centered care? Apparently, these writers think that the last one that we for now have called F4 is most important because that's why it's at the end of the sentence, because whatever is at the end of the sentence, people will remember. Now, for example, we don't really have to give this a numeric, but if you want to be entirely complete, where is that thing here? Then you could say, okay, an example is coming up. I'll call that O3 because the O stands for orientation, right? Health IT, we talked about health IT already. So we have again a topic 2 here. Don't know where it moves there all the time. So health IT is topic 2. For example, is orientation 3. Wait, let me organize this a bit more. There and there. I will call this F3 or F4. I'm not entirely sure yet. Widespread use is topic 2. And this is focus 2 and topic 1. Just by looking at the numbers, you can see already that at least this part of the text is relatively tightly knit, right? You go from topic 1 to focus 2, then you pick up that focus as a topic again, you say something about it, focus 3 or 4, basically giving the reader the option, okay, I might continue with focus 3 or focus 4, I'm not sure yet. Then you give a clear example of how the next sentence should be read. It's an example, so your mind sets to, okay, I'm going to get something more specific about the previous 2 sentences. And then we are talking a little bit more about topic 2. Topic 1, focus 2, topic 2, focus 3, orientation, oh, not 3, I'm so sorry. That should be, well, you know what? I'm not going to enumerate the orientations. That will overcomplicate things. So topic 2, and then can be used to facilitate information exchange, well, we talked about that in a previous sentence, with clinicians and instruct patients when to act upon clinical issues such as out-of-range physiologic parameters, follow-up of test results, and complications of medication use. Now, this is again a very, very, very long topic, and as we can see, it's still about exchange of data and patient-centered care. So it does make sense that this is an example. We have the same topic and the same focus, and that is generally not acceptable, except in this particular case when you make it an example. Why is it generally not acceptable? A focus needs to drive your text forward. You cannot have 2 times the same focus, because then people think, well, I just read that. Why did they need another sentence for that? In this particular case, it's an example, so it's okay. So I've talked a little bit about patterns, and having talked about that, then these are 2 very acceptable patterns, not the only ones, and not exclusively, but they will help you structure your small bits of text that are supposed to illustrate your point. So you have a topic 1 followed by a focus 2, then you can still talk about that same topic, but you need to have another focus generally, unless you make an example. Then you can continue talking about that topic, and then you give another focus. So you go from topic 1 to focus 2, you say something about that topic, you say something else about that topic, and you say yet something else about that topic. Now, mind you, you cannot write your entire text like this, obviously, but you can have like 4 or 5 sentences like this, and then you move on to, for instance, this pattern. You have a topic, you say something about that topic, then the next sentence picks up whatever you said about the previous topic as the new topic, and then you say something about that new topic. So you talk about health IT and patients who are using them. These particular patients are having a very hard time. Topic 1, health IT, focuses the patients that are using that health IT. Then the topic becomes those patients that you had just introduced. So the source of your topic is that focus. And then you say something else, namely, they are having a hard time with that.